Well, Karate Kid is not the weirdest news of the day, as we're going to talk about today, as The Strangers, that one slasher movie from, what was it, 2008, 2009? The Strangers is getting not only a new movie, but a trilogy of new movies in a reboot series for The Strangers. Um, okay, odd, but I understand this because you can make The Strangers for very, very cheap. Or you can make for cheap just in general, but The Strangers, more often than
Mhm.
not, takes place in one location, including the strangers themselves, typically has a cast of like 6 or 7. Like the Strangers movies do not have high kill counts or a lot of people in them. But yet have enough of a recognizable IP, I think that you can make some money out of this. I don't know if these are going to be theatrical or if they're going to be streaming. Not sure. I can look that up
Yeah.
later. But I think I don't know. I think this is an odd choice. That being said, we just saw Orphan Force Kill, a franchise that we thought we didn't need more of, and they brought it back and did even nuttier stuff this time around. So maybe you can do that with The Strangers. Clearly, if it's a reboot, we're gonna have new strangers in general. I don't want this to be a full origin story though, of like, this is what the three of them look like without their masks before. This is why they're crazy now, because they were left home alone and now they're
Yeah.
always asking for Tabitha. Like, I don't need to know the ins and out of the strangers. That being said, I'll watch all of these because that first Strangers Pray at Night was a movie that exists. But
It
that
was
first one,
fine. Oh, hold on. It's great. That's a
it's
good
not
time.
bad, but it's also not great.
Okay, fine.
But The Strangers, the
Yes,
first
it is
one,
Strangers. Fantastic. And I think while saying, hey, you can make this movie for very cheap, it is in one location. It has maybe a cast of 6 to 7, um, depending on the size of the family. Uh, that can feel like a negative, but to me, The Strangers is easily one of the best slasher films of the last 2 decades. It is fantastic. It's creepy. It's unsettling. I love that there's a lot of jump scares that aren't. They don't do the like jump scare noise for you. They're just people in the background that you suddenly notice, which is fantastic.
oh, that
Um,
scene where the dude is just standing in the background when Liv Tyler's in the living room.
oh, I get still gets me. And I know it's coming every single time, which is hilarious. But I would, I love to see them do a 3 films reboot series. I'm okay with that. I agree. I don't want origin. I want it more as like a serial killer family or a group of people that are terrorizing a town, and it's the 3 films are, like the towns react kind of like a lot like what they're doing with the modern Halloween films. I'm okay with that, and I feel like The Strangers would fit well into that vein, and you can make it easily creepy, and there's a lot less of the supernatural vibe to it, and hopefully no evil dies tonight.
They don't say Evil Does Tonight near as much as people make it out to be, but yeah,
I
it is
agree.
overplayed. What I think could be an interesting concept is each three of these movies is focusing on one of the three members. So
Hmm.
maybe you don't get all three of them in the same movie. Again, this could be a stupid idea, but 3 separate movies, 3 separate stories of like maybe the baghead dad is off in this place and the quote unquote the daughter characters over in this place. It's 3 standalone movies that you can play back to back to back, a la the Fear Street trilogy, something like that, like interconnected, but not necessarily. I think the only difficulty of that would just be might get a little repetitive, and I think it's scary when they're together. So maybe not. Maybe scrap this idea, just kind of spitballing. But
Yeah.
the strangers as a concept, I think, really, really works. It's just your stereotypical home invasion, but it's done so effectively that it's creepy. I like that there's not a lot of music in that first one. Like it just lets it marinate. It just lets the creaking and the ambient noise be what actually scares you. So okay, I'm down for
Sure.
more of these. It's not a franchise that it's like high on my priority list of, oh yeah, I want more of this. That being said, I won't complain. We'll get more.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I've always wanted more of this series, but I mean, Prey at Night is. You're right. It's fine. It was a nice second installation. Um, but I would really love to see like an overarching story with it, terrorizing a family. What if? Oh, okay, spitballing. Since we're spitballing here, what if they go after a family? So let's say we stay with the strangers, right? And this is actually turning into Halloween now that I'm thinking about it.
Don't care. Do it.
Yeah, so let's say like it's the strangers, right? And they go after a family, and something happens in the first film to make the family be able to get away from them. And so the next two films are the strangers chasing them across the country, which would
And
be
in the third one, they bring back Liv Tyler, who is still technically
yes,
alive at the end of the first
yes,
Strangers movie. She
yes.
just
I
scares the
would be
crap out of a
down.
Mormon.
Yes, she does. It would be fun though. I can see a lot of like fun horror stuff happening in these three films.